season with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and the racing is always intense. But some of the biggest races on the tour happen throughout the season. None any bigger, though, than the one we're about to contest. For the first time, the series will earn points here at Knoxville Raceway. Yes, one of the most prestigious places on the tour. Scott Bloomquist with 14 wins. Jimmy Owens, 7 wins. Don O'Neill, 3 wins. And Steve Francis still hungry for his first. But they'll have to watch out for Billy Moyer because he's a defending champion here at the Late Model Nationals. $40,000 on the line. And the race starts now. Fans have packed the stands here at this historic facility for the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. Ken Stout and Rob Clubber here to call all the action for you, and it has been a busy week with 2 days of racing in the books already. And of course, the A-Main about to start. We had a chance to talk to the drivers about what this place and this race means to them.
The racetrack's real challenging. It's unlike any other, and you got to do a lot of different things with your race car. You never know what the track's going to have in store for you.
You know, Knoxville's it's just a legendary place, and to get to run some laps around this track is pretty awesome.
No, this place is pretty exciting to come to. It's wide open, hammer down pretty much all night long. Fixture time, it usually gets slicks off wide the whole race, so it's a pretty good race here.
Well, we usually don't run real great here, but it is one of my favorite racetracks. It's usually really racy. I guess that's why they decided to invert 10 people in all the heat races. But it's a really racy place, really fast. I love it here.
It's probably my favorite track to come to. It's a great atmosphere. I just wish we got to come here more often, instead of the end of the year. But it's a blast. I really love it. They treat us right, and that's all we can ask for.
And as you can see by the sign, the tradition since 1954, and the people that have made the A-Main, including our defending champion Billy Moyer, are all back because they do love this place. It's a big race. Let's take you back to 1 year ago.
And it was all about the hottest driver in the country, Mr. Smooth, Billy Moyer. He won Thursday night. He won Friday night. And, of course, Saturday night picked up his first career Knoxville Late Model Nationals in front of his hometown crowd as he grew up down the road in Des Moines, Iowa. A big win for Billy Moyer. He swept it. Can he do it again in 2011? That's the question.
Certainly a talented driver. There's not much that guy hasn't won throughout his illustrious career. And, of course, Tony Bachhoven, you're standing down there next to him. Well, how does he feel like his chances are of repeating?
1 year ago, Billy Moyer swept this place. And tonight, Billy, you've got a decent starting spot. Your car's been very fast here this weekend.
Well, we've in the main events, we've been, happy. We haven't qualified like we need to, but we didn't draw good. And so hopefully we made the right decision. We've been tweaking on it here all weekend, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty good track. We'll see what we can do.
And, of course, Billy Moyer just one of the previous 6 winners. And I say that even though there's been run 7 times up till now because Scott Bloomquist is the only person to repeat. He's the only guy with more than 1 win here at the Late Model Knoxville Nationals. The first winner, however, is a guy named Brian Burkhofer, and Dave Argerbright's with him.
Thanks, Ken. 7 years ago, Brian Burkhofer won the inaugural Late Model Nationals here at Knoxville. He hopes to repeat that tonight. First of all, Brian, you got a lot of Iowa pride riding with you. You ran very well last night. What do you need to do to win this big money race tonight?
Well, we won last night, so we got to do 4 times that tonight. So 100 laps, lot can happen. The crew's probably going to move around a lot, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I got it all for 100 laps, or you only got to lead one. That's got to be the last one, so see what happens.
And I got to tell you guys, nobody else here, I promise, is wearing tails like Brian Burkhofer. Only Berkey could show up with a uniform like that. Let's go to Tony.
Well, Dave, I'm with another one of our preliminary night winners, Jimmy Owens. Jimmy won on Thursday night, but then had a little driveline trouble before time trials on Friday. But, Jimmy, you were able to secure a nice, solid 5th-place starting spot here tonight.
Yeah, with a good run there Thursday night, we was able to get a good starting spot. And, you just got to pace yourself. And, it's going to be a lot of guys are going to seal the tires over tonight. And, probably just be the last one to seal the tires over and be the fastest car.
Ken and Rob, Jimmy Owens is going to focus on patience in the first half of the race.
Well, Jimmy Owens, of course, in a seesaw points battle as we take a look at your E3 Spark Plugs point standings coming into this event at Knoxville Raceway with Scott Bloomquist, a 40-point lead over the O Show. Of course, the veteran Don O'Neill third, but it's been back and forth with the top two.
And Dave Scott has certainly been one of the hottest drivers of the season.
Thanks, Ken. Scott Bloomquist has won an amazing 14 Lucas Oil late model races this year, but he loves these big money shows. Scott, this racetrack is known to change a great deal from start to finish. What do you have to do to take advantage of that?
You know, you really just got to have your car real free, real neutral, you know, and just pay attention to the racetrack. You know, the groove will move around. We're obviously starting on the bottom, so we'll start there. And, you know, then I'm sure the cushion will end up right against the fence before it's over. You know, I'm hoping that I've got my car good enough that I can just put it right in the middle in the slick and let her go.
You could be the first three-time winner right here, not to put the pressure on you.
Sounds good to me.
Well, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is also here, so just in case the racing isn't good enough or the pure history of the racetrack isn't good enough, this certainly is. Tony Bachhoven takes us for a tour.
Outside of turn number 2 at the legendary Knoxville Raceway, you'll find the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, where on display you'll see cars like Mario Andretti's first open-wheel 3/4 midget and more modern sprint cars like this winged 410 sprint car. Also on display is the Salutes champion Tony Stewart, which features his 3 1995 USAC National Midget, Silver Crown, and Sprint cars, in addition to his 2005 NASCAR Championship stock car.
That place is just absolutely loaded with history. If you get an opportunity to come out to this track, make sure you set some time aside to walk through the museum. Well, all the boys out here are lined up 4 wide. That is a gaggle of race cars right there as they salute the fans. Let's get it down to Dave and Tony, because there's a couple of guys that have never started in the A-Main here at Knoxville.
Thanks, guys. You know, you got to give a shout out to Jared Landers. The guy's never even seen Knoxville Raceway before, raced his way solidly into tonight's starting lineup. For a guy who's racing for Rookie of the Year, that's a lot of credibility. Let's go to Tony.
Well, guys, now 15-year-old Tyler Reddick is actually making his second visit to the Knoxville Raceway. 1 year ago, they came here, but they never turned a lap because of mechanical problems. This weekend, he's managed to race his way into a 16th starting spot. Now, because he's young, a lot of folks have said he doesn't have enough experience. However, he's being tutored by one of the best, Scott Bloomquist. So from a 16th starting spot in 100 laps, Tyler Reddick could be a contender at the end.
Well, Tyler Reddick has really had an awesome year. Picked up his first career Lucas Oil win earlier this year at East Bay Raceway Park. You can see second, of course, in the chase for Rookie of the Year honors. Finished 12th on Thursday night, and that's what got him that 16th place starting spot here tonight.
And the young man currently sits in the top 10 in the points. Let's take a look at our Rockstar Energy Drink starting grid. It is littered with the who's who. Berkey, Bloomquist, Lanigan, Vaught, Owen, Shannon Babb, Don O'Neill. That first 4 rows is stacked, and it only gets better.
Yeah, you go back to outside row number 7, Billy Moyer, your defending winner, but he's also finished second here 2 times. He knows this place very well. The Kentucky Colonel Steve Francis outside row number 6. Of course, we talked about Jared Landers and Tyler Reddick there in row 8.
Tim McCready, T-Mac in row number 9, another big name. Brian Shirley, Jimmy Mars, Bud McCool, who's been running points with us all year, also in the top 10.
Back to row number 13 on the inside, former Rookie of the Year, John Blankenship, and of course, former winner of this event, Brady Smith. Eric Wells, another competitor with this series, and how about row number 16, teammates for Bobby Labonte, Earl Pearson Jr., and Brad Neat.
And we'll round it out with 2 more solid names in Ray Cook and Dale McDowell. And those 2 competitors as well, pounding around, trying to stay to the top 10. Here's a look at our onboard cameras, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the points are going to take us for a great ride here tonight for 100 laps. So pretty cool shots there, as well as Brian Burkhofer brings them around here. Let's get this thing started. $40,000 on the line. Welcome to the 8th running of the Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. plus horsepower screams to life in this stacked field. And right off the bat, the number 19 car is going to take the early lead.
That is Seaford, Delaware's Austin Hubbard out in front. Finished 10th 1 year ago. 18 years old. He ran 3rd on Thursday night. And that gave him that great starting spot. You can see Ken already very slick through the middle. A top shelf and a low line to run here early.
Great battle for 4th already between Bloomquist and Will Vaught. We go on board with General Tire with Scott Bloomquist. Different helmet, has had a white helmet all season long. Opts for the black one here tonight. Maybe a little intimidation as Austin Hubbard now putting a big gap between he and the rest of the field.
And now Scott Bloomquist to the inside of Daryl Landigan. So we go side by side. Out the back of the Bloomquist 0 on the left. That is the 1 of Daryl Landigan. We normally see him in the 29 car. And Landigan has had some success here at Knoxville Raceway, but the results haven't shown it. Every year, he is very fast to this track. He just hasn't been fast when it counts.
Great onboard shot with Don O'Neill. Running that top shelf, and man, you have to be spot on. We've said it 100 times. You live and die up there with that cushion, and you mentioned it already. I mean, that cushion is already way up there by the wall, and it will only become more difficult to run on as the race progresses.
You see Don O'Neill up on top, and yeah, it's going to be up on the fence. You heard Bloomquist say it. And you can pretty much try and set your car up for the bottom, try and set it for the top, and then you can do like Bloomer said and try and make it neutral. What's the best idea? Well, nobody knows. We'll find out at the end of the race. Don O'Neill, though, has not been here for 7 years. You go back to 2004, he finished 16th as Hubbard leads your E3 Spark Plugs top 5.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. General Tire, unleash the fury. And by K&N, the world's best air filter.
Drivers who want to get the most out of their cars. It's Bridgestone or nothing.
When Valvoline asked me to try recycled oil with next-gen technology, I jumped on it, and jumped on it, and jumped on it. Never knew recycling could feel so good.
Valvoline Next Gen. It's a win for your engine and the environment.
When it's your meal ticket. When it's your statement. Protect it with Prestone. Engineering lasting relationships between cars and owners since 1927. When you own it, Prestone it.
The one restaurant with unlimited amazing food for one incredibly low price just might have gone deliciously off the chart. Only Golden Corral would introduce the lusciously amazing chocolate wonderfall. Dip fresh strawberries, marshmallows, homemade macaroons, and more in a non-stop flowing river of chocolate indulgence. That's right, a non-stop flowing river of chocolate indulgence. Golden Corral. Now this is helping yourself to happiness.
There's a saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, forgive us if we think that's a load of crap. Because here, every wheel gets the same detailed attention, just like every bolt, wire, and inch of paint. So, what greases our wheel? ATVs that are built right here. Arctic Cat, share our passion. See your dealer for great deals on ATVs and side-by-sides during the Gone Wheelin' sales event.
Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway here in Knoxville, Iowa for the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. That is a look at your leader, Austin Hubbard, out front with the number 19 car, and a great battle going on for second here as well between Brian Burkhofer in the 15, and right behind him a smoking hot Don O'Neill. And Dave Arterbright, as you well know, this car looks different, but it's more than that. It's not just looks.
Don O'Neill is not in his normal Masters build house car. He's driving for Larry Mooring this weekend, and a little bit unusual. They put this deal together back in last December, thinking he would run the non-Lucas Oil races with this car. However, this race was on the schedule, and it later became a Lucas Oil race. He decided to go ahead and honor his commitment to Larry and run this car. Right now, looks like it's a deal pretty good for everybody involved.
Great looking car too, the Magnaflow on the front of it, of course, and I just love the colors on it. Typically in just a yellow car, it stands out. It's very bright, but this one has some nice colors to it.
Back to the battle for 8. Steve Francis in the 15. That is Billy Moyer in the 21. You know, we talk about the half mile here at Knoxville. If you run the top, it's a 5/8 mile, a long way around if you try and build that momentum to run the outside part of the racetrack.
Yeah, we've also mentioned that you might run a different gear, and that's what happens when you run the cushion up there, and that actually damaged the car a little bit, it looks like, if in fact it happened there. So a big hole developing there. As you watch the 21 car, he's driving right to the center, much like Scott Bloomquist said he wanted to be able to do, and yeah, there's that hole.
That is the 5 of Mike Marlar making his second feature event appearance here at the late model Knoxville Nationals. Jimmy Mars in the white and blue 28. We've seen him pass a lot of cars in years past here at Knoxville Raceway.
And Don O'Neill is coming hard. He is chasing down our leader, Austin Hubbard, as we go on board with him. He's feeling the groove, and I've got to tell you, we certainly documented that Scott Bloomquist, arguably the hottest driver in the season, but as Don O'Neill pulls off the slide job, takes over the lead, you have to take a look at what he's done late in the season, and he's right there with Bloomquist.
Well, this is what the Knoxville Raceway fans are accustomed to. The big slide job with the sprint car, and Don O'Neill gets it done in the dirt late model. Nice pass, bounces off the cushion, and continues on. And look at that, Berkey now to the inside of Hubbard as he will take second.
Classic example of a good early setup versus a setup that will come in a little bit later on. And the caution flag comes out. Looks like it'll be Chris Simpson who's in early.
One of the locals out of Oxford, Iowa, making his 3rd career start here in the A main at Knoxville.
There's a look at your E3 spark plugs. Top 5. Don O'Neill, the real deal, leads the group.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
TireRack.com is more than just an online tire resource. We're your one-stop online tire know-how, know-who, and know-what. Speaking of that, know what else? Our prices are practically unbeatable. And that's all you need to know. We're revolutionizing the way you buy tires. Be ready for winter. Visit TireRack.com to shop Bridgestone's complete selection of Blizzak winter tires, designed to provide extra traction in snow, ice, and cold. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has a solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you could safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest, safety sensors, stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even works through a power shortage.
I was really surprised at how little they cost.
Call 1-800-507-4147 for free information. That number again is 1-800-507-4147. 1-800-507-4147. Call now.
There's a great shot. Yeah, the 0 car and the 20 car locked up side by side again. Between the two of them, 21 wins of the previous 35 events we've had this season. Needless to say, it has been quite a battle as they both are trying to win the championship here this year.
And third in Lucas Oil points is Don O'Neill, as he is out in front trying to hold off Austin Hubbard, who just got right back around Brian Burkhofer to retake that second spot.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before the caution flag came out, the fact that Austin Hubbard's car was very fast right at the drop of the green flag, but then these other guys started to track him down.
Well, Austin Hubbard possibly starting with a little bit more air pressure as he goes around Brian Burkhofer to take that second spot. You know, they run about 8 to 11 pounds of air in the right rear. The more you have, obviously, the more grip you're going to get, but it could fall off quicker.
O'Neill down to the bottoms, lets it slide up to the top. Berkey down there on the bottom trying to make it work as well. And that Jimmy Mars working his way up in here, and Jimmy Mars starting fairly deep here tonight and now doing a great job as he picks his way up towards the front.
Yeah, known as the Iceman. He's won a preliminary night here at Knoxville, but his best finish in the A main is a 4th back in 2008. He's trying to go 3 wide on turn 4, and Mars looks like he is going to make it work. I mean, to get around Brian Burkhofer and Jimmy Owens off turn 2, wow.
He goes into 3rd place after 28 laps, and he started 22nd. Needless to say, Jimmy Mars has a good car here early in this race. I don't know how well that's going to fare out for him late in the race, but nonetheless, take a look at what he does here. He never lifted either. Man, that is just holding on.
Yeah, and Jimmy Owens, remember, folks, there is no rear view mirrors, no spotters. Owens has no idea that Mars is coming to the outside, and Jimmy Mars, rather, put the foot down and did not lift and made it work. As we go back up front, Don O'Neill in the 71, Austin Hubbard there in the blue and white number 19. Now back to 12, Tim McCready. Haven't talked much about T-Mac there in the 39 as the caution comes out.
And it looks like it's going to be Chad Simpson here who gets turned around. See if we can find out what happened. And whoa, oh man, he had no place to go. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's the 32 there of Chris Simpson. Almost stopped off turn 2, and when you come off the cushion a full head of steam, someone stopped right in front of you, you can do a lot of damage. So that's a tough break for the 25 of Chad Simpson, making his 3rd appearance in the A main at Knoxville. Brad Neitz down pit side. Tony Bachhoven.
Guys, Brad Neitz in the work area here. You can see the crew working on the rear trailing arms on the rear end. They're adjusting them. They're actually able to adjust them up and down. I can't see from my vantage point yet what they're trying to do, but they're having trouble with the bolts on those trailing arms right now, trying to get them out so they can make an adjustment.
And of course, you can change a forward bite there on the car as well. Might be chasing some traction coming up off the turns. And they're getting a 1 lap to go indicator here. One more time, let's get it back down to Tony.
But guys, more drama going on here. They're waiting to go. The car is ready, but they didn't have any lug nuts. So the crew waiting for another one of the crew members to come back with more lug nuts so they can get the right rear back on Brad Neit's car. I'm not sure that he'll be able to get out in time because the field is getting ready to go. The yellow lights are off.
They didn't have any lug nuts, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, you take them off. I don't know what they did with them, but nonetheless, I don't think Neit's going to make it out. That could be the end of his night.
That's too bad, too. I mean, we're kind of joking up here, but it's very frustrating for those guys down there. Hard to say what happened to them, but you'd think they'd be laying right there. All right, Don O'Neill up in front once again. The 71 car out, doing a great job. Austin Hubbard was way out front, and then they kind of tracked him down, but now he is kind of settled into 2nd place. But Jimmy Mars is a car that's been on fire, and right behind him is Jimmy Owens. Another onboard shot. You can see Berkey just pulling up beside him there. Yeah, nice stuff.
Jimmy Owens working that high line. You can see just how treacherous it can be up on top. Remember, you go back to 2008, he gets a big run off turn 4. Now trouble for Jared Landers. A lot of damage on the left rear as the caution comes out for the Rookie of the Year points leader.
Looks like it might be the same thing that happened to Chris Simpson. Jumps the cushion here, has to slow down because of the wall, and oh yeah, there goes Scott James up and by with no place to go. Another look at it. Oh man, a hard hit for the guy that's sitting 5th in the points. Dave?
Jared Landers in the work area here with the flat right front tire. There was apparent contact between he and Scott James in the 81, who is also in the work area. They're here at the right front of the car. They've got this tire moved into place. Looks like he's going to be able to rejoin the field. Also got some body damage in the left rear quarter of this car. Going to be a little bit of a thrash from this point of the race on for Jared Landers.
And Jared Landers 5th in the points. Tough break for Scott James. Again, wrong place at the wrong time. Let's get it down to Tony Bachhoven, who has more on Brian Shirley.
Well, guys, Brian Shirley came in to change the right rear tire. They thought something was wrong. Maybe the wheel was bent or the tire was flat. But in fact, what's happened is the partial part of this wheel is packed full of mud. As you can see inside of here, a lot of that mud has jammed inside of the wheel. So what happens is under power, the car wants to bounce. The wheel wants to bounce because it's out of balance, like a wheel coming off of your passenger car. Brian Shirley came in, the crew changed the tire. He's back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, and that's an easy couple pounds of mud. Great job there, Tony, by the way. I mean, keep in mind, when they balance the wheels and tires on your street vehicle, they literally do that with a few ounces of lead. That was a couple of pounds of mud and can cause a violent vibration. Again, another aspect of running up there in the cushion where that ledge of dirt is. A lot of times I run a foam insert to keep that from happening.
Yeah, foam insert, and then they'll cover that with what I like to call the hubcap or the wheel cover to try and keep that dirt, that mud out of that wheel, especially if you're running the outside part of the racetrack. Don O'Neill continues to lead as we eyeball the battle for third. Jimmy Mars and Jimmy Owens going side by side.
Once again, Tony Bachhoven all over the stories down there in the pits. Let's get it back down there to him. Tony, what do you have?
Well, guys, Scott James just came into the work area. He wanted his crew to take a look at the right rear tire because he got into Jared Landers and wanted to make sure there was no damage. They were equally as concerned about the tire being sealed over. You can see that shiny surface on the tire. They would rather have that to be a much more dark, much deeper looking tire. So they put a new tire on the right side of the car. He's back out on the racetrack, and hopefully Scott James can start making his way toward the front.
And that's what we heard of at the top of the show. And these guys know that's going to happen. First of all, you pick a hard tire to go 100 laps. But unfortunately, the hard tires will seal over and make them so hard that they have no grip at all.
Yeah, the biggest problem is when you run that hard tire, you don't run a lot of green flag laps. So that tire gets hot. When you go caution, it cools. You go green, it goes hot again. And you put a lot of cycles through the tire, and it will actually seal over. It will not work anymore. And that's a big problem in these big events.
Of course, a lot of times you'll see these guys actually buffing the tires to knock that glaze off the top, but needless to say, you can't do that in the middle of the race. And take a look at this racetrack, man. It almost looks like an asphalt track. It has quite a shine on it. There's a look at your top 5. We'll be right back.
Each week, 4 new car freaks pit their passions against their peers.
Winning is what I do.
My Ride Rules, Wednesdays at 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
This is Coach Parker, whose nonstop day starts with back pain and a choice. Take Advil now and maybe up to 4 in a day. Or choose Aleve and 2 pills for a day free of pain. Way to go, Coach.
How could we make the KFC Famous Bowl even more famous?
We put bacon on it.
Wow, another one for the Colonel. Introducing the new KFC Cheesy Bacon Bowl. Try it right now for only $3.99. Today tastes so good.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium lasts up to 8 times longer versus Energizer Max, which means up to 8 times less waste. Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Now that's positive energy.
This is the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals, held at historic Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. And Jimmy Mars has been on fire, started 22nd, has worked his way up into the top 3 in an amazing run to the front, battling right now for third.
Yeah, he gets around Brian Burkhofer, and Berkey's pretty much running the low part of the racetrack as Mars has been up top. So maybe setting those cars up saying, hey, this is where we're going to run no matter what.
And Berkey, I think, doing the same thing that we heard Scott Bloomquist say earlier. I mean, once the car good enough to drive right to the center of the turn where that glaze is, where that shine is.
Battle for 7th, Bloomquist, Moyer, and Francis. You can almost toss in that black 27 up on top of Brian Harris, Jason Fager, and man, these guys are side by side all the way around this racetrack. A lot of racing going on here. We're not even halfway.
Scott Bloomquist really falling off the pace here. Matter of fact, could bring out a caution flag, and if he doesn't, I'll be surprised. If he pulls off out of the way here, it will not come out, but he's way too smart for that.
Well, it's still under power. You can hear him shifting gears as Don O'Neill gets above the cushion. Austin Hubbard has to slam on the brakes. Here comes Jimmy Mars now on the hammer.
So the cushion finally bites O'Neill, and now it bites Jimmy Mars, who has to check up. The caution flag does come out, and it comes out for Scott Bloomquist.
Well, Scott Bloomquist is a very smart race car driver. As you can see the onboard shot there with General Tire. And if he has a problem, he's going to come in as early as he can to try to get that problem fixed. And, you know, we said no radios. Tommy Hicks has no idea why Bloomquist came in.
Quick consultation and pointing forward. Looks like the hood's going to come off here as they take a look underneath there. Of course, Roush 8's performance. You can see that on the front of the car. And he's looking possibly some fluid coming out of the car as they check out the radiator right away.
And you can see Jimmy Owens still on the racetrack in the top 5, so big points implications now. If Bloomquist can make it back out, he's going to have to make up a lot of ground to catch that man. And it looks like Austin Hubbard stopped on the racetrack there in turn 4. A little bit of damage to the right rear as the Lucas Oil official pulls it out. The good thing there, Dave Argabright, is he's not using any fuel.
These cars carry a fuel tank in the back of the car. This one on John Blankenship's car you see right here. You have a choice, essentially. You can run a 26-gallon tank or a 32-gallon tank. This big half-mile for a 100-lap race takes a lot of fuel. Some of the cars, if they elected to go with the 26, might be a little close on fuel. If you got a 32, no problem. The guys with the short fuel tanks, something to watch as this race wears on.
And keep in mind, they don't count caution flag laps, so that could be an issue. Weight also an issue at the end of the race. Let's get it down to Tony Baco, and he has more on Scott Bloomquist.
Well, Tommy, Scott was in the work area here. It looked like some heating problems or something. What was going on?
He said his water's hitting him in the face, but I can't find nothing. The motor's dry. I don't know if there's some oil or water or something all over the nose. I think it's ever who he was following was blowing out on it.
Tommy Hicks, longtime crew chief for Scott Bloomquist there as they take a look at it, and he'll come back out in 26th position with a long ways to go to get to the front.
Back underway, the Delaware double file restart. Don O'Neill out in front, sets the pace. Here we go, 2, 3, almost 4 wide entering turn 1. Jimmy Owens down low in the 20, trying to get to the inside of Austin Hubbard in the 19. Can't get it done.
Great battle going on there between Jimmy Owens and Jimmy Mars. And then just back behind him, here comes Brian Burkhofer, and he's hanging around in there. Looks like Burkhofer pulled right up beside Jimmy Mars. Of course, speaking of Brian Burkhofer, he had a solid run just one night ago, and Tony Bachoven had a chance to speak with him after he picked up the win Friday night. This is your flashback.
Brian, nice job tonight. You had to work the track a little bit, a little different racing surface than last night.
Yeah, actually, the 20s were not very good. They didn't feel really good on the race, you know, as the track got black like that, but I just figured that's what we had to do to get up there and get the lead. I figured the hard tires would take us, probably just try to burn them in to get them going, and we wouldn't get going. So obviously we started on the inside. I figured if I get the lead, and the bottom was kind of superior yet, they just get enough traction ring down. Now tomorrow night, maybe 100 laps, it'll be an awesome race for tomorrow night, but we were able to get the biggest paycheck tonight. I need to work on the car a little bit, but I think some of it's the tires too, so we'll see what happens.
Needless to say, the tire game is huge, and what applied for a 25-lapper will not work for this 100-lapper.
Well, that's the beauty of this event. You really have 2 days to work on your car to get ready for the big 100-lapper as Jimmy Mars bounces around on the cushion. So with Brian Burkhofer winning on Friday night, it gave him a good base coming into Saturday.
One guy who was not so fortunate started 26th here tonight. That is Brady Smith. And Dave Argabright, as you well know, he had a tough car to work with on Thursday night.
On the first qualifying night here at Knoxville, Brady Smith said he had the worst car he's ever had here at Knoxville. It was a thrash. Said he was going to try everything to try to get the handle back on this thing. He's moving up now after coming through that B main. Looks like Brady Smith has made progress with that number 2 car for sure.
Yeah, we mentioned before, he started 26th, now up there battling for 8th. Billy Moyer just in front of him, Bub McCool around there, and I said just in front of him. He was actually in front of Billy for a moment.
Yeah, on board with Mr. Smooth, looking back on Brady Smith. Of course, just 3 drivers making all 7 previous events here at the Knoxville Late Model Nationals. Brady Smith, Brian Burkhofer, and Jimmy Mars.
There's a look at your E3 spark plugs top 5. The real deal still leads the group. It's going to be a great finish.
It's just 30 minutes from my garage.
10 miles from the shop.
It's right down the road from where we train.
We're in the heart of NASCAR country. We're in the hub. NASCAR Race Hub Monday through Thursday nights at 6 Eastern. Only on Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
Why would any fun-loving, red-blooded, all-American male give up watching football to upgrade his headlights? Because Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania are up to 50% brighter and let you see up to 40% farther and up to 50% wider. But more importantly, because of who is behind the wheel.
Thanks, Dad.
See farther, see wider, see better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Give yourself an edge. One a Day Men's Pro Edge. A complete multivitamin with more magnesium to help support healthy muscle function. More B vitamins to help convert food to fuel. More confidence in a healthy you. One a Day Men's Pro Edge.
Almost tastes like one of Jack's cereals. Fiber One.
Oh, I forgot Jack's cereal.
What's for breakfast?
Try the number one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Half a day's worth of fiber. Fiber One.
Be one with it. Hankook Tires.
Get up to $80 cashback rebate when you buy 4 select Hankook tires. See your local retailers for details.
We're just past the halfway point here at the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. 71 car. The real deal, Don O'Neill, is out front and has been there for a while. Jimmy Owens in second, then a great battle for third between Austin Hubbard and Jimmy Mars. Jimmy Mars starting 22nd and working his way up through here. Well, there's a lot of elements to these dirt late models, and to make one fast, you've got to use everything that's available. Dave Argerbright, you have another story.
These cars do not have a generator or alternator to put juice back into the battery, which is mounted back here. That means you rely on this battery 100% during the race for the spark to power your engine. Now, this weekend, we've had 3 different battery failures. Very, very unusual. You just never see that happen. So you know as this 100-lap race wears on, it's in the back of people's minds saying, battery, don't fail me, because when it goes, your chances of winning this race go too.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And you might ask yourself why, as we see Jimmy Owens now making a bid for the lead. But one of the reasons you don't want to run an external component if you don't have to is because it can rob a little bit of horsepower. It's a little more weight. It's something else that can break and go wrong. So if you can make the race car live on just the battery, that's exactly what you want to do.
Jimmy Owens now going to the top part of the racetrack and run that cushion down in turns 1 and 2 as Don O'Neill took the lead from Austin Hubbard and is catching now the tail end of this field, and they are going side by side. Owens with a run off turn 4.
Right up there on the cushion, and yeah, here comes Jimmy Owens trying to take advantage of that. Now Don O'Neill can get a good run off the cushion, but he has a lapper right in front of him. Jimmy Owens seals the deal no matter what, because he goes up there and throws a block even if O'Neill dives down underneath him. So that is using traffic perfectly, and a bad decision by Don O'Neill.
Well, O'Neill got a little loose there off turn 4, lost a little bit of ground, and Owens had a great run, so he pulled the big slider down in turns 1 and 2, used the 99 of Frank Heckenash Jr. as a pick, and we have a new leader here in Knoxville.
There's a look at your E3 Spark Plugs top 5.
That is what we call a Hollywood stunt.
Stuntbusters premieres November 15th, 8 Eastern on Speed.
Engines are tuned. So are Mobil 1 motor oils. Tuned for blistering performance. Tuned for everyday extremes. And with Mobil 1 Extended Performance, tuned to keep your engine running like new for up to 15,000 miles between oil changes. Mobil 1 Extended Performance, from the motor oil brand designed to keep your engine running like new.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real
Naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate good toward a Bosley hair restoration procedure. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-694-0286. That's 1-800-694-0286.
Welcome back to the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. That is a story right there. Number 1 and number 2 in the points, but it is Jimmy Owens that's getting ready to lap Scott Bloomquist. We had a chance to talk to Scott earlier this weekend about the championship.
This year's been a lot of, we've overcome a lot of opposition and some rough races, and you know, we rolled a car. We've had 3 DNFs this year, which is not like us. Normally we don't have any DNFs in a season, so this year's been different. You know, we've been way ahead, fell behind quite a bit, came back. You know, now we're just we got a small margin right now. You know, we just need to take care of that. I mean, it would be this would be a year, almost it would mean more to come back and win this one than it did the first one.
And side by side they go. It's going to be another tough night for Scott Bloomquist unless Jimmy Owens has some issues. Bub McCool up over the cushion right in front of Bloomquist. Jimmy Owens shoots underneath both of them and says, "So long, brother. See you later."
Yeah, we'll take another look at it right here, and you can see a great shot of McCool in the 57 car above the cushion. Brian Shirley also getting up over it there, but it's not easy to run up there and lean on that thing for 100 laps at these speeds at this big racetrack. These guys make it look simple, but let me tell you, when you're behind the wheel, it can be treacherous.
All right, let's go a little deeper in the pack. The battle for 8th place. Mr. Smooth Billy Moyer has been in that position for a little bit. It was Brady Smith he was racing with. Now it's the California kid who's rolling up on the back bumper, Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick is having a great year, chasing Jared Landers in the chase for the Rookie of the Year title. But we mentioned getting that first win, the youngest driver to ever win a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series event at East Bay to kick off the year. And the kid from California now resides in Kentucky, battling with these veterans week in and week out.
Eric Wells in the 18 car, Jason Fager in the 25 car. So a little group there, pack of 4, if you will, trying their best to keep up with these leaders who are tracking them down from behind.
Yeah, Wells, the series regular, and of course Jason Fager, known as the high side hustler. He loves to run the top shelf. He'll pick and choose, run a handful of events with the series throughout the year.
We're about to start our final 20 laps of the 100-lap main event. $40,000 on the line. There's your E3 Spark Plugs top 5.
Oh, no. Rod, you sent this email, reply all. You hit reply all. You know I was wrong. You just sent this email to me. Could you imagine?
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
There's a saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, forgive us if we think that's a load of crap. Because here, every wheel gets the same detailed attention, just like every bolt, wire, and inch of paint. So, what greases our wheel? ATVs that are built right here. Arctic Cat, share our passion. See your dealer for great deals on ATVs and side-by-sides during the Gone Wheelin' sales event.
When it's your meal ticket, when it's your statement, protect it with Prestone. Engineering lasting relationships between cars and owners since 1927. When you own it, Prestone it.
What are you doing here?
Good, you're home. We're out of those little sausages.
How did you guys get in here? The key was under the mat.
Look, Larry, this isn't easy on us either, but apparently somebody doesn't want us in their car engine anymore.
What are you talking about? The Wix filter, Lawrence.
Ah, that filter's a big bully.
tell dirt, dust, and grime they aren't welcome anymore in your car. Wix filters collect 45% more of the stuff that can kill an engine.
When Valvoline asked me to try recycled oil with next-gen technology, I jumped on it, and jumped on it, and jumped on it. Never knew recycling could feel so good.
Valvoline Next Gen. It's a win for your engine and the environment.
Less than 15 laps to go here at the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. 40,000 on the line, and the number 20 car is hoping he'll be the guy that picks it up along with the points that go along with winning, because the 0 car is well back in the pack.
Steve Francis in the 15 goes top shelf around Brian Burkhofer in the 15B. And Francis, one of 6 drivers who have made 6 of 7 feature events here at Knoxville. And Francis's best finish was back in 2007 when he finished 3rd. And he has been so close to winning a Lucas Oil event this year, but still looking for his first win.
And Jimmy Owens now is about to put the man that won this race 1 year ago a lap down.
You can see John Blankenship to your left, and the number 23, Tyler Reddick, now racing with Billy Moyer. That is for position, so even if these guys go a lap down, they are racing for position on the track.
Boy, that track just looks like black ice. It is so shiny. Car setup absolutely critical here tonight if you're going to get through those turns.
Don O'Neill again battling with Austin Hubbard. Hubbard led the first 23 laps. Don O'Neill took the lead from Hubbard to lead up to lap 59. And then, of course, Jimmy Owens took it on lap 60. So these guys have pretty much been around each other this entire event.
Yeah, we might have picked on Hubbard there a little bit for having a early race setup in the car that might not have worked, but needless to say, looks like his setup is pretty doggone good and right on, because he's still battling in the top 3 here as we get to our final 10 laps.
And he is working the top part of the racetrack. Wow.
Woo, good save right there. Oh, and not such a good save for Jimmy Mars.
The Iceman, his bad luck continues here at Knoxville. And I know we mentioned it before. Now Scott Bloomquist down into the hot pits for the 2nd time.
Let's get it down to Tony.
Well, guys, earlier Scott Bloomquist came into the work area because he was complaining of getting moisture on his helmet, on his driving lens. As you look at his helmet while he sits here, you can see the front of his helmet's pretty wet. They've checked the engine. They can't find any place that there's any water or oil leaking from that car. Now, if you look over here on the front end of the race car, you can see oil streaking back on the front fairing. Crews have been telling him they think it's from cars that he's been following, but Scott was pretty convinced that it was coming from his car. But as we look across the front of this race car, there seems to be a fair amount of oil sprayed across the front of Scott Bloomquist's car, number 0.
Yeah, very strange it'd be that far forward and coming out of his car. We actually saw on the roof line, you could actually see the moisture as well. So whatever it is certainly causing him some problems tonight. The Newport Nightmare leads the group. There's your E3 Spark Plugs top 5.
With only 3 to go in the chase, NASCAR Race Day thunders into Texas. Denny Hamlin joins us live, and we'll show you how Martinsville shook up the championship battle. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at noon Eastern, live on Speed.
Be one with it. Hankook Tires.
Get up to $80 cashback rebate when you buy 4 select Hankook tires. See your local retailers for details.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate good toward a Bosley hair restoration procedure. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. hair, so don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-694-0286. That's 1-800-694-0286.
Just a handful of laps to go here at the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. Jimmy Owens out front looking for a great payday. More importantly, the points that go along with winning one of these events as he is chasing a championship. Somehow managed to stay out in front because O'Neal got a great run. Francis looks like he's tearing up the car, jumping the cushion. They go 3 wide. Billy Moyer moves up to 4th place. Here comes Mr. Smooth.
Well, you can take your setup on your car, your tires, the engine, and throw that all away. With under 10 laps to go, you have one job, and that's go to the front in a hurry. So Owens trying to check out on the field as Brian Burkhofer now to the inside of Don O'Neal. Can't make it happen off turn 2, and then a gaggle of cars led by Steve Francis coming down the back straightaway. Yeah, Francis went from the top down to the bottom as he tried to pass a couple. Brian Burkhofer's been down on the bottom the entire night, somehow making that work. Steve Francis jumped that cushion. He said, yeah, man, I think I'm going to try the bottom now. Yeah, Brian Harris going up there as well. Bub McCool, Jared Landers, Brian Shirley. Guys deep in the pack. There is McCool there in that 57. Sandwiched between Brian Harris in the 27 and Tyler Reddick in the 11T. And a new look on Bub McCool's car. And it was hard to see who that was. Somebody was slowing down up there in the group. It looked like right in front of everybody. No caution flag. Don O'Neal hanging on to 2nd place. Yeah, you can see O'Neal is really working that top part of the racetrack in 1 and 2. He's searching around here in turns 3 and 4. And now it looks like it is Brian Harris, one of the local drivers, slowing down on the racetrack. Out of Davenport, Iowa, and tough break for him. He make it this far into the race. See if we can see what happened here. And Tyler Reddick right there on the inside of him. He might have got up over that cushion as well. So the 9th caution flag flies here tonight, but this is setting it all up for a shootout. How about a 7-lap shootout for 40 grand? This telecast is brought to you by Canada Natural Pet Food Company, healthy natural nutrition for your pets. Rockstar Energy Drink, the world's most powerful energy drink. And by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Tell us about Golden Corral's new chocolate Wonderfall.
It's like going to a wedding without dressing up. You dip whatever you want in it. There's fruit and macaroons and Rice Krispie treats.
Well, my favorite thing to dip is the marshmallows.
Yeah, the strawberry's great.
Yeah, strawberry's good. I love chocolate. Always have since I was a little kid.
Only Golden Corral would introduce the indulgently delicious chocolate Wonderfall for the same low price.
One word, awesome.
It made my jaw drop.
Golden Corral. Now this is helping yourself to happiness.
Chex Party Mix. Easy 15-minute homemade recipes you just pop in a microwave, like caramel chocolate drizzles. Happier holidays. Chex Party Mix.
When Valvoline asked me to try recycled oil with next-gen technology, I jumped on it, and jumped on it, and jumped on it. Never knew recycling could feel so good.
Valvoline Next Gen. It's a win for your engine and the environment.
TireRack.com is more than just an online tire resource. We're your one-stop online tire know-how, know-who, and know-what. With TireRack's online research tools, you'll know you're getting exactly the right tires for you, your car, and the way you drive it. Speaking of that, know what else? Our prices are practically unbeatable. And that's all you need to know. Buy your next tires at Tire Rack and experience how we're revolutionizing the way you buy tires. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
It's time to kick off the 7-lap shootout here at the 8th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. Jimmy Owens leading the group. We are down to just a handful of laps with a $40,000 payday. Here comes Owens down to the bottom, hits the throttle, green flag flies. We're racing. O'Neal right up beside him.
Brian Burkhofer using that low line again to get underneath Don O'Neal, try and take the lead on Jimmy Owens as they go side by side off turn 2. The Real Deal back up top, entering turn 3.
Nose to tail, the top 3 right there going at it. And Don O'Neal just kind of slides up to the top, hits the bump. Here comes Steve Francis as well, right behind Berkey.
Yeah, Steve Francis has been all over this racetrack all race long as we go back up front. Burkhofer trying to win his 2nd career late model Knoxville Nationals. Steve Francis trying to win his first Lucas Oil event this year.
5 laps to go. Jimmy Owens with a commanding lead right now. It's been out front for a while. Can he hang on to this one? It'd be his first late model Knoxville Nationals win if he can pull it off. Oh, man. That bump right there at the very end. Tyler Reddick still hanging around in here. Tyler Reddick starting in. Steve Francis starting 12th. Oh, and Jimmy Owens makes a huge mistake. It's going to cost him the lead.
Tyler Reddick also gets loose on the front straightaway, but Owens jumped the cushion in a huge way, and that will give the lead back to the 71 of Don O'Neal.
Don O'Neal lost it up there on the cushion. Look at Berkey right there next to Francis. Actually catches Steve Francis as they go through the center of that turn. Great side-by-side shot.
Now Jimmy Owens falls back to 4th. Tyler Reddick in 5th as they race back down into turn number 1. O'Neal has checked down and again. Another mistake for Owens. Crossover move for Tyler Reddick, and he takes 4th.
The California kid who started 16th is safely inside the top 5 and now chasing down Brian Burkhofer for 3rd. Let's have another look at what happened to Jimmy Owens.
Owens just got into the cushion 2 straight. Couldn't get that thing turned. Bounced over it. The right rear came back around. Then again in turn 1, same thing. Nice and straight in turn 1. Couldn't get the car turned. And that allowed Reddick to get by him. And now Reddick on the rear bumper with Berkey for 3rd.
A little bit tight at the end of this race. And Tyler Reddick up there doing his best to use that cushion, but the white flag flies for the Real Deal. Can he stay clean and pick up $40,000?
Tyler Reddick again trying to get a run on Brian Burkhofer up turn 2. Look at that. He's going to run out of room. Smacks the fence. They rub wheels.
Berkey closes the door on him. Didn't leave him quite enough room. And the California kid has to hang on to it. Don O'Neal stays clean, picks up 40 grand. Steve Francis behind him. Berkey hangs on to 3rd, and the California kid is probably not happy about that move, but a solid effort for that young man, finishing in 4th.
So Don O'Neal picks up $40,000, his 4th Lucas Oil win of the season, his first career late model Knoxville Nationals win.
Here's a look at your MagnaFlow exhaust unofficial results. Of course, Don O'Neal your winner, but how about Steve Francis starting at 12th to 2nd, Tyler Reddick starting 16th to 4th, and Billy Moyer starting 14th and finishes up in 6th. All right, let's get it down to the winner's circle. Yeah, very excited. Don O'Neal, and no doubt Dave Argerbright is with him, and rightfully so, man. $40,000, baby. That's how you get a payday. Let's get it down to Dave.
It was just a matter of time before we got you in victory lane on one of these big TV races. I got to ask you, Don, you followed him for so long. What was the key at the finish that won you this race?
Man, that cushion was brutal, and it bit me a couple of times, and you know, and lucky to run 2nd there for a while, and then it finally bit Jimmy there towards the end.
You know, to be honest, everybody's talked about Scott and Jimmy and what a year they've had. You've had a great year too. You won the dream. You've been right there in points right with them, and you win this big race here. This has got to feel awfully, awfully good.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been back here since '04, and I'd broke my shoulder and broke my neck, and you know, what an awesome comeback.
You know, this was one you're going to celebrate. You won $40,000, baby. That's got to count.
That's right. You know, I want to thank MagnaFlow Exhaust and Larry Morning and all the crew and Taylor Masters and everybody, you know, involved with this deal. Appreciate it.
Time for you to go celebrate. Happy winner, Don O'Neal.
Well, guys, Steve Francis comes home from a 12th spot starting tonight to 2nd. Nice run tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night for Masterbuilt. You know, he ran 1st and 2nd there. I don't know what happened to Jimmy right there at the end. I don't know if he got something broke or what, but, you know, he was pretty good. Don run that cushion. We just couldn't run the cushion like them guys could. We needed to be in the bottom of the racetrack. But with the year we've had, you know, 2nd here's 20 grand. That helps out a lot.
You've had some tough races, but tonight a solid finish. Got to make you feel real good.
Yeah, you know, we got to think Masterbuilt, Keith and Tater, them guys have really done a lot. My guys, Mike and Big Snack, they've worked their butts off. My wife, you know, she puts up with us being out on the road all the time. Olean shocks, the Roush Yates motor, you know, everything just, it clicked tonight. We didn't need that cushion to be so dominant. Our car was pretty good across that bottom, but hey, like I said, with the year we've had, we'll definitely take a second and be happy with it.
Steve Francis going to go home with a solid second-place run here tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the E3 Spark Plugs point standings, and it gets even closer yet.
Jimmy Owens gains 25 points on Scott Bloomquist, now just 15 separating these two as they head down south to Georgia.
Remember, you can always go to lucasdirt.com for all the information on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Hope you enjoyed all the action here from the 8th running of the Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. For Tony Bachhoven, Dave Argerbright, and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. We'll see you next time. The stars of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series have competed at 36 events throughout the 2011 season, and the chase for the championship is still hotter than ever. Scott Bloomquist on top of the points. The winningest driver of all time in the series has 14 wins under his belt here this season, but don't count out the O-Show. The O-Show, Jimmy Owens has been on top of the points on 2 different occasions and is still in the hunt, just 15 points back. This battle will go down to the final race of the season. Whatever you do, don't touch that remote. It's the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout next. Stop 37 brings us to Woodstock, Georgia for the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout presented by Lucas Oil. Ken Stout and Rob Klepper here to call all the action for you, and this is by far the deepest in any season with this series that we've seen the points stay this close. This is going to be a dogfight right to the end.
It is certainly going to be a dogfight. It has been a dogfight all season long, but here at Dixie Speedway, a track that's been around for a long time, it's been dirt, it's been pavement, back to dirt, 3/8 mile, very wide racing track. We're about 30 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of great dirt late model fans here at Dixie Speedway.
All right, let's give you a flashback. Our last event was held at Knoxville, and the real deal, a 71 car, making a big for the front, and then Scott Bloomquist unfortunately had some problems.
For Jimmy Owens, he would look to the inside of Don O'Neill and take the lead using a lapper as a pick, but then jump the cushion coming off turn 4. Don O'Neill got back around him as Tyler Reddick would get to the inside of Jimmy Owens. The last handful of laps, it was trouble for the O-Show. The California kid, though, put a bid on Brian Burkhofer, former winner in Knoxville, but as the checker flag came out, Don O'Neill picked up the win and $40,000, his 4th Lucas Oil win of the year.
Oh, it was awesome. Hadn't been in that place since '04, and then go back here and win, you know. And I never realized how much that race has grown. It's turned into a big quad event, and it was really awesome to go out there and win that show, you know, especially for the Larry Mooring team, Masterbuilt chassis. You know, it was a great thing.
Well, we'll continue to talk about these points as we take a look at them here from E3 Spark Plugs, and there is the spread. As mentioned before, Don O'Neill's won a ton of cash this year, but he's not going to be in the hunt for the championship. Jimmy Owens, however, has been on top a couple of times, and Kelly, as you well know, he'll start 11th here tonight, so he's got his work cut out for him.
Thanks, guys. Talking about points, that is the story coming into the end of the year. We've watched week after week the Owens-Bloomquist show, and these guys have battled it out for that top spot. But as it stands tonight, a mere 15 points separate you from that top spot. Scott's won the championship 2 years in a row, and now more than ever, you have a chance to take it over from him and call that championship yours. Are you going to be able to do it in these last 3 races?
You know, we just got to keep our head on our shoulders, and, you know, Stott's a tough competitor. He's always tough to beat, and so is everyone else in his series. But, you know, we buried ourselves deep here tonight, and, you know, it's going to be tough to pull off a good finish tonight, but we're going to do our best. And, you know, we're just going to have to step it up for the last 2 races if we're going to get anything done.
Well, he's starting on the pole. You're starting back here. Are you going to be able to make those passes in only 50 laps?
Well, I guess we got a long way to go and a short time to get there, huh? But, you know, we got a good car. I've had a good car all year long, and I think we're going to have a pretty good track tonight, so I think hopefully we can get it done.
Well, guys, he's 15 points behind Scott Bloomquist, and standing by with Scott is Dave.
Thanks, Kelly. Scott Bloomquist has won this Dixie Shootout 5 times, more than any other driver. Scott, you've had a great run here at the Dixie Shootout. What do you need to do tonight to close this deal out?
You know, just really follow through. You know, Don's running really good. We got a little different tire combination than he does, but we're close. I think we're going to be good early, and hopefully we won't fade any. You know, I just have to search around for a good groove. I think we'll be on the bottom early, but, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see how he does.
Ken and Rob, he's your pole sitter in the 0 car, Scott Bloomquist. Let's go back upstairs.
Let's take a look at what these two drivers have done throughout the season as we take a look at the stats. Yeah, just 15 points between them, but look at the wins. What a massive difference there.
Yeah, you would think based on wins alone, Scott Bloomquist would have a huge lead in the points, but Owens has been so consistent all season long. It's keeping it tight coming into Dixie.
25 wins out of the previous 36 races for the top 3 drivers. I mean, needless to say, they have been dominant. We had a chance to talk to some of the drivers earlier about their season.
It's been an up and down year. You know, for our first full year, we're pretty happy with it. We've done everything except win. You know, we ran second at Knoxville, we ran second at the USA 100, had a lot of top 4s, top 5s, but we haven't won yet. You know, we've been a little bit snake bit this year, but overall, we're happy with our first year with Lucas Oil Series. We've enjoyed racing with these guys, get along well with all of them, and you know, looking forward to next year.
We're having a little trouble with consistency now here late in the season. We've been going to such drastically different places, you know, and the weather's been crazy. So we'll just keep working on it and hopefully get us a good start next year. And then we should be a lot higher in points than we are. We should be 5th. So the way we've been running. So we'll just try to do better.
We've been struggling, to be honest with you. We've had a lot of bad luck, falling out. We've had 2 races we felt like we should have won and didn't. But, you know, just need to get better. I think the last 2 years we was pretty good and everybody caught up to us, and now we're trying to catch back up to them.
We're fighting hard, the crew's working hard, and everybody back at the shop's doing a good job. We just got to get a little bit of luck go our way. We've run a good last week and broke a rear end, and a couple weeks ago broke a drive shaft. So it's kind of been tough for us, but we'll bounce back and do the best we can for these last 3 races. Make sure we can stay in the top 10 and you know, shoot for 2012, all we can do right now.
Good to check in with some of those guys. The beautiful green grass down there as the fans start to line the fence. Of course, we'll get our A-main started here in just a few moments, but first we're going to bring you some highlights from the heat races. We should also tell you that Scott Bloomquist set fast time in Group A, but it was Don O'Neill who set fast time of the overall field. All right, here we go. Heat race number 1, 10 laps, the top 4 advance.
All 4 heat races stacked here tonight. Scott Bloomquist on the pole would lead Mike Marlar, Tyler Reddick, Steve Francis through turns 1 and 2. A pretty racy racetrack early here at Dixie Speedway as Scott Bloomquist trying to get as many points as he can, not having to go through the B main. He'll get it done here in heat race number 1.
Unfortunately for the 44 car of Earl Pearson Jr., his troubles would continue on. He's had a tough season, but for Scott Bloomquist, he was on his A game. Made it look easy as he picked up the win in heat race number 1. He'd be followed by Mike Marlar, Tyler Reddick, and Steve Francis. Let's go to heat race number 2, and we'll continue on. Again, some big-name players inside of this heat.
The C9 of Steve Casebolt on the pole took the green flag with Brad Neat to the outside as they would race down into turn at number 1. Jimmy Owens, Ray Cook, Chip Brindle, some of the drivers in this heat. Again, every single one of these heats completely stacked. 10 laps, you had to finish in the top 4, or you had to go to one of the B mains.
Brad Neat went up high. That opened up the door for Jimmy Owens to get underneath him. He took over his 2nd place, and of course, Steve Casebolt out front was hanging on to the lead. The 21 car back in there, as well as a number of the guys struggling here throughout the heat race, and of course, everybody's scrapping because only the top 4 would go to the A main.
And when you think of the top, there goes Ray Cook. The Tar Heel Tiger would use the outside part of the racetrack in a 3-car battle for the lead, would get around Jimmy Owens, and then set his sights on Steve Casebolt. To prove to the Richmond, Indiana driver, the top shelf is the place to be in heat race number 2 as the white flag came out. Ray Cook would lead the final lap and pick up the win in heat race number 2. Steve Casebolt would follow him to the checkered flag with Jimmy Owens and Brad Neat making it into the show.
And earlier tonight, Kelly spoke with Ray Cook.
Well, Ray, you've been winless so far this season, but tonight it seems like your luck is turning around. You held off a guy like Jimmy Owens. Is it going to be that easy in the A-main tonight?
No, them guys will see what we just done. I mean, they moved to the top, but, you know, we're just thankful to be in the show and thank the Lord for blessing us with a heat race win. It's been a while since we've had one, so maybe we can do good in the feature.
How's the track holding up out there?
Track's going to be good. It's slick right now, and that bottom's going away, so that means we can run all over it. So.
Okay, heat race number 3 as we continue on here. Once again, 10 laps in distance with the top 4 advancing. The real deal inside of this one, fresh off of that win at Knoxville.
Dale McDowell, John Blankenship, some heavy hitters here in our 4th and final heat race as Don O'Neill would take that Ray Cook line, go right to the outside part of the racetrack. Starting to see a little cushion develop coming off turn 4 at this point. Chris Madden and Dale McDowell would go at it for the 2nd spot. Again, a very racy racetrack here in Heat Race 3.
Just needed to be smart here and hang on to the position. The 71 car was driving away, feeling comfortable. He picks up the checkered flag and a huge distance between he and 2nd place. Chris Madden, then Dale McDowell and Clint Smith rounded out your top 4. And we go to our 4th and final heat race here. Shane Clanton would find himself inside this one. You always find Shane here at the last couple of events of the season, and he's always tough.
Aaron Ridley out in front in the 81 car from the pole. Working that low line as you see the 25 of Clanton trying the top shelf. These drivers have to search around in these heat races to try and get their cars set for the A-main as they were bumping and banging trying to get in those transfers.
Yeah, a little trouble there between those guys. Ogle Jr., Knowles, and Page all doing battle for that 4th and final transfer position.
You can see the 777 up on top. That is Jared Landers trying to work his way to the front. Currently leading the Rookie of the Year points.
Does a nice job down there on the bottom and picks up a position trying to make it into the A-main without going through the B. And again, this battle up front, Aaron Ridley in the 81, Shane Clanton right behind him, and Aaron Ridley would hang on to it, followed by Shane Clanton, Jonathan Davenport, and Billy Ogle Jr. Let's hear from our winner.
Well, Aaron, a lot of these drivers out here are racing for points. They're going to be driving a little bit more conservatively, but you're not. You're looking for the win. That has to play to your advantage out here.
Yeah, we're just going to go out here, you know, try to save something for tomorrow because we're good at Rome tomorrow, but we'll go out here and do the best we can do and just give it our all, see what we can do, you know.
How's the track shaping up out there?
The track's pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty racy. The top's coming in. The bottom's still pretty good, though. It should be a good show.
Well, congratulations on winning your heat.
Thank you.
So the heat race is completed, as are the Bs. Time now to get everybody fired up. So here are those magical words. Gentlemen, start your engines as they fire those things up. Some 800-plus horsepower underneath the hoods of these things, and they will put on a show here momentarily. Stay with us. We'll be back with the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by Canada Natural Pet Food Company. Healthy, natural nutrition for your pets. E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. And by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Hey, honey.
Mom, we're dying.
No, you're not. You're just hungry. Make some Totino's pizza rolls.
We don't have any.
Front. Left. Totino's.
Well done, Mom. Less drama, more fun. Totino's Pizza Rolls.
How could we make the KFC Famous Bowl even more famous?
We put bacon on it.
Wow, another one for the Colonel. Introducing the new KFC Cheesy Bacon Bowl. Try it right now for only $3.99. Today tastes so good.
TireRack.com is more than just an online tire resource. We're your one-stop online tire know-how, know-who, and know-what. Speaking of that, know what else? Our prices are practically unbeatable. And that's all you need to know. We're revolutionizing the way you buy tires.
Get ready for serious performance this winter. Visit TireRack.com to shop Continental's complete selection of extreme winter contact studless ice and snow tires.
TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
When Valvoline asked me to try recycled oil with next-gen technology, I jumped on it, and jumped on it, and jumped on it. Never knew recycling could feel so good.
Valvoline Next Gen. It's a win for your engine and the environment.
Almost tastes like one of Jack's cereals. Fiber One.
Oh, I forgot Jack's cereal.
What's for breakfast?
Try the number one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Half a day's worth of fiber. Fiber One.
E3 spark plugs, born to burn. E3 spark plugs, born to burn.
Welcome back to Woodstock, Georgia for the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout presented by Lucas Oil Products. Fans have packed the stands here, and Don O'Neill has won a pile of cash here this year.
Over $170,000 in winnings for the real deal, and he will start to the outside of row number 1 as we look at your General Tire starting grid.
Of course, your points leader and reigning two-time champ Scott Bloomquist will lead them to the stripe. On the inside of row 2, a tough Ray Cook. Chris Madden on the outside of row 3 alongside Mike Marlar. And then Steve Casewell, Shane Clinton, who always seems to show up and run the last few events with us every year.
Row number 5 on the inside, Tyler Reddick, 1 win on the year. Dale McDowell to the outside starting 10th, still looking for his first win of the year. How about Jimmy Owens, 2nd in the points? They'll have to pass a few cars in 50 laps to get to the front here tonight.
The Kentucky Colonel also in that group, and now we go back a little bit further. We find John Blankenship on the outside of row number 9, and then EPJ, the 4-time champ, on the outside of row 12.
Taking a provisional tonight, who will start 25th and scratch, as we call it, Eric Wells, the Hazard Kentucky driver, has a long way to go in the 18E.
We mentioned John Blankenship. We should also mention Chip Brendel, as both of those won their B mains. So they start in the back of the pack after fighting their way through the heat races and the B mains. Let's check in with Kelly.
Coming off his Knoxville's national win, the number 71 of Don O'Neill is going to be the driver to watch here tonight. He's currently 3rd in points and hasn't had a season like this since 2002. He said what separates him from Jimmy Owen and Scott Bloomquist is that he is here to win. Those guys are going to run conservatively. They're going to be really careful about those lines they pick and the passes they make, but he said, I'm not. I'm secure in that 3rd place spot, and the only thing I'm here to do is win. Guys, I really think he's going to be the driver to watch, and he's starting up front, so he definitely has a shot at taking home the win tonight.
Well, that's the opinion of Don O'Neill, but based off of number of wins, I would say that Scott Bloomquist is here to win since he has 14 of them, and Jimmy Owens has no choice but to go for it as he starts back there in row 6. We'll also put onboard cameras on the top 4 in the points. Bloomquist, of course, leading, followed by Owens. 3rd in the points would be Don O'Neill, as Kelly just mentioned. And, of course, 4th is Steve Francis, still hungry for that first win on the season.
Yeah, and Steve Francis coming off his 5th podium of the year by finishing 2nd at the Knoxville Raceway. And Dave Argabright, the Kentucky Colonel, is hungry for that first win.
Guys, one of the cars to watch in tonight's Dixie Shootout is the 15 of Steve Francis. The Kentucky Colonel has been running the best he has all year in recent weeks. Got a lot of momentum. Could well be this is his night to score that breakthrough win here in 2011.
Yeah, I think we're all surprised that he has not picked up a win here on the season so far. He's been in the top 10, some 23 times. But for Steve Francis and his caliber of racing, we all thought he'd have a handful of wins by now.
Well, Francis finished 6th here last year, so certainly one of his best racetracks. He's been very fast all season long, and it's a big surprise that he hasn't won to this point.
All right, we'll bring him around here one more time. Scott Bloomquist looking for the green flag. O'Neill up high, gives him some racing room, and the 50-lap main event has begun. A little dusty right off the start. They'll blow that off and out of the way here pretty quickly.
Side by side for the lead. You can see just how quick they get around this racetrack. 15, 16 seconds. 50 laps will go in a hurry if it stays green. As Scott Bloomquist out front of Don O'Neill.
And so much for that conservative run out of Scott Bloomquist. Oh, Don O'Neill with a huge mistake. It was a great save, actually, to keep that thing out of the wall.
Ray Cook gets by. Mike Marlar also gets by as Don O'Neill gets loose down in turn 1, smacks the fence. So possibly breaking something on that car in turn 4. And after coming off that huge win in Knoxville, not the way he wanted to start his race here tonight at Dixie Speedway, and Don O'Neill, we'll take a look at it one more time. You can see in turns 3 and 4, gets a little loose, loses some ground to Ray Cook, Mike Marlar to the inside, and then gets in high and hard. It's very loose dirt up there, and it will suck you right into the fence.
So a tough way to get things going for the 71 car. He'll pull that one off the track. We'll see if they can get him back out here and gather up some of those precious points. There's a look at your K&N Top 5. We've just gotten things started.
Engines are tuned. So are Mobil 1 motor oils. Tuned for blistering performance. Tuned for everyday extremes. And with Mobil 1 Extended Performance, tuned to keep your engine running like new for up to 15,000 miles between oil changes. Mobil 1 Extended Performance, from the motor oil brand designed to keep your engine running like new.
There's a saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, forgive us if we think that's a load of crap, because here, every wheel gets the same detailed attention, just like every bolt, wire, and inch of paint. So, what greases our wheel? ATVs that are built right here. Arctic Cat, share our passion. See your dealer for great deals on ATVs and side-by-sides during the Gone Wheelin' sales event.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has a solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you could safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest, safety sensors, stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even works through a power shortage.
I was really surprised at how little they cost.
Call 1-800-507-4147 for free information. That number again is 1-800-507-4147. 1-800-507-4147. Call now.
Welcome back to the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout, presented by Lucas Oil Products. We're here in Woodstock, Georgia, and just got the race underway, and of all people who struggled early on, the 71 car, this isn't the first time, it's the second time he went to the top like that. Unfortunately for him, he caught the wall that time, and it looks like it might have ended his night.
Yeah, and you can hear from that onboard shot that something was obviously broke, possibly a tie rod or something in the front end there that kept him from steering entering turn number 1. Scott Bloomquist, 14 wins on the year, going for number 15, finds himself all alone out front as we get set for our first Delaware double file restart.
And it's a clean one and a good one for Scott Bloomquist, as once again they sling the dust in the air here, and Bloomquist well out front.
Ray Cook second, Steve Casebolt working that low line. Battle for third between him and Mike Marlar there in the 5 car. Casebolt's had an up and down season, currently 15th in the points, still looking for that first win.
Has been so close to winning some major events, and heartbreak right at the very end. Of course, Wheatland comes to mind when you talk about that, as Marlar goes back underneath and down on the bottom side of him. Back behind him, that is Shane Clanton, and Clanton always tough when he shows up down here in Georgia.
Aaron Ridley there in the 81, who picked up a heat race win, as we go back a little bit further side by side with Jimmy Owens and the 44 of Chris Madden, aka Smokey, working that low line. Nice onboard shot there as they go side by side for 7th.
Jimmy Owens to the top shelf, trying to stay out of trouble here early on and just pick his way up to the front. Just want to be there for those last 10 laps to see if he can battle, and of course his goal is, as Don O'Neill was saying early, just to get in front really of Scott Bloomquist. Would love a win, don't get me wrong, but really needs to get up there and in front of Scott Bloomquist.
3-car battle with Dale McDowell sandwiched there. You see Tyler Reddick in the 11 team. McDowell, of course, teamed up for the last few years with Clint Boyer. We asked him how that got started.
I love the sport, love dirt late model racing. That's how I got tied in with Clint Boyer Racing, is
is through doing some school stuff with Austin and Ty Dillon, Richard Childress's grandsons, and so Clint and I met and become friends, and Clint's a dirt racer, you know, and at heart runs some modified stuff and really enjoys what we're doing, and he's just giving back. On dirt, it's so challenging. It's hard because we get to these racetracks and they slow down 3 or 4 seconds, possibly, you know, during the night. The grooves change. You'll see the guys up around the top, down around the bottom, you know, so they're chasing traction all night. On asphalt, on the other hand, most of the time, they don't have all the variables.
Well, one thing's for sure, these dirt tracks change literally by the lap. It's not to say that asphalt tracks don't change. They also change significantly throughout the course of a race, but I don't know if they change as quickly as they do here in dirt.
Yeah, things can change in a hurry as you go on board with Geico and Ray Cook, the Tar Heel Tiger. Looking back at Steve Casebolt.
And Ray Cook with 11 top 10s on the season. Dave Argervite, hoping for another top 5.
Ray Cook in the 53 is currently running second. He's looking at a very short night. Told me he plans on driving the 2 hours home after tonight's race so he can sing in the choir at church services tomorrow morning. Then he'll make a 2-hour drive back to Rome Speedway. That is a dedicated church member, Ray Cook.
So a busy weekend for Ray Cook. You know, last year he finished 5th in the points, picked up 3 feature event wins. So far this year, a big goose egg in the win column. You look at guys like Earl Pearson Jr., Ray Cook, Steve Francis, Dale McDowell. These guys all in the top 10 in points have not won a race so far this year, and they're running out of chances.
Oh, yeah, they're chasing $10,000, and that's your K&N top 5. Scott Bloomquist leads them once again.
It's just 30 minutes from my garage.
10 miles from the shop.
It's right down the road from where we train.
We're in the heart of NASCAR country. We're in the hub. NASCAR Race Hub Monday through Thursday nights at 6 Eastern. Only on Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
When it's your meal ticket. When it's your statement. Protect it with Prestone. Engineering lasting relationships between cars and owners since 1927. When you own it, Prestone it.
What are you guys doing?
Waiting for Black Friday.
Rent-A-Center's pre-Black Friday sales going on now.
Dude.
Hurry into Rent-A-Center and get a Sony 46-inch HD TV or Acer laptop for just $24.99 a week.
I have COPD. If you have it, you know how hard it can be to breathe and what that feels like. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema.
Spiriva helps control my COPD symptoms by keeping my airways open a full 24 hours. Plus, it reduces COPD flare-ups. Spiriva is the only once daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that does both, and it's steroid-free.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor right away if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Breathing with COPD is no small thing. Ask your doctor about Spiriva.
Welcome back to the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout presented by Lucas Oil Products. As we take a look at the Kentucky Colonel here, and Steve Francis has been tough all season long. 23 top 10s. When it comes to top 5s, he's been up there 8 times. He's been in the top 3 on 5 different occasions, but still hungry for that first win. We talked to him about how he prepares for a race.
You kind of just plan out what in your mind what you want to happen throughout the race. You know, if you're starting in the middle of the field, okay, you know, we got to worry about our tire management a little bit. We got to worry about this. We got to worry about that. Or if you're starting on the front row, you're like, okay, all I want to do is get out here, get myself a comfortable lead, not burn my tires up, not, you know, getting myself in any trouble, anything like that. So it all depends a lot on where you're starting as to what that mental state is.
And Scott Bloomquist, of course, started at the front and now has led 18 of 50 laps. He has so much experience and knows exactly how to set that car up for early on in a race when you start at the front.
Well, you know, Francis really brings up a good point because these guys will change their strategy based on track conditions, based on where they start, based on their chassis setup, based on their car, how their engine performs. So there's a lot of factors that go into getting these cars right as we go on board with Geico and Ray Cook, another driver looking for his first win this year.
Ray Cook giving us a good onboard there of the 53 car, and I'll tell you, a guy that is not out here and has really had some moments of brilliance is Dale McDowell. He's been in the top 3 on 3 different occasions and in the top 10 15 times this season. Unfortunately, as we know, Kelly, he is out early here tonight.
Can you tell us what happened out there? That looked like there was a lot of fluid coming off the front of your car.
I can't really hear you, but we just didn't have, we had no luck. We had a vibration in the right rear, and I was going backwards, so the racetrack, I don't feel like it's going to be racing very much. My car's not very good. We'll just save our stuff for tomorrow night.
Dale McDowell done for the night, guys.
Sitting inside of that Butler-built full containment seat, as a lot of these guys, pretty much all the guys using the full containment seats now anymore, even in the dirt late model series. As we ride with EPJ, he's still hungry for his first win of the season as well, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to get it here tonight.
On board with Earl Pearson Jr., and you can hear just how much he has to lift entering the corner when you run the lower part of this racetrack. Finished 24th at Knoxville, and his up and down season continues as he gets put a lap down.
Jimmy Owens back there battling for 7th, started off in 11th and needs to pick his way forward. We asked him about points racing versus wins.
Because you're points racing, you don't make as many risky moves as what you might do it if you're racing for just a lead for a big paying race. Because you got to finish. You have to finish every race, and for every race you don't finish, that's just a huge hit to you. And so yeah, it really affects it, you know. And I'd like to get out of that, you know, the season to be over with, and then maybe we can go to Charlotte or some of these bigger shows and not have to worry about it. We can give it our all.
So indicating that he's saving a little bit, and it's not that you're saving some, it's just that your decisions aren't as risky as he was mentioning there before. Instead of pitching that thing in sideways right up there to move that guy out of the way, you just kind of wait for your moment and pick away at it.
Well, you know, Scott Bloomquist, we heard him say he's had 3 DNFs, and that's the term that you don't want to happen when you're chasing points. And since it's been such a close battle between those 2 drivers, any problem on the racetrack is going to turn into losing points. As Steve Casebolt now back underneath Ray Cook, and this C9 car is starting to come alive. You know, last year he ran very good here, got into the fence and had some problems, but so far so good tonight for Steve Casebolt.
And right on the back of Scott Bloomquist right there, as he's putting some pressure on our leader for the lead. Of course, also using some lap traffic as well, and nothing wrong with that, man. That is all part of the game out here.
Back down into turn number 1 as Scott Bloomquist holds about a 10-foot lead there over Steve Casebolt. Man, Steve Casebolt, very good tonight, looking for his first win of the year to try and turn his year around. He needs to win for him, his team, his sponsor to build that confidence going into next year. Another driver that needs to win tonight is Mike Marlar. Dave?
Guys, it's been a short week for Mike Marlar in the 5 car, currently running in the top 5. They had transporter difficulty last weekend in Knoxville with a breakdown. Did not get back to the shop until Tuesday. That made for a very quick turnaround to get ready to come down here to Dixie Speedway. Currently, he's overcoming that, running very, very well in that 5 car.
You know, and another sidebar to what it takes to get at this level with all the driving that goes on, your transporter back and forth, and it only takes one incident like that, and they can hold your team up for a couple of days while that thing is in the shop. Not uncommon for those guys to rent other trucks just to try and get that trailer going back to the shop and get things taken care of. It is very difficult at this level. There's your K&N Top 5. Stay with us.
That is what we call a Hollywood stunt.
Stuntbusters premieres November 15th, 8 Eastern on Speed.
Only Polaris RZR delivers the ultimate combination of power, suspension, and agility. The only trail-capable side-by-sides, featuring the all-new $99.99 RZR 570. The first 4-seat sport RZR 4. And the only extreme performance side-by-side, the 88-horsepower RZR XP. Razor sharp performance, only from Polaris. See the new models at Polaris.com.
That's amazing. You know what else is amazing? How easy it is to save money on motorcycle, boat, or camper insurance with Geico. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Welcome to our proving grounds. This is where we test our tires. At General Tire, we design our tires to take whatever punishment BJ Baldwin can dish out. We make tires that can take on the elements and survive. Less than 1% of the earth is paved. Go attack the rest. General Tire. Anywhere is possible.
This is Dixie Speedway, where the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout is taking place, presented by Lucas Oil. And out front right now is the guy that's won more than anybody. That is Scott Bloomquist at 5. And Steve Casebolt has been applying the pressure heavily as he's hanging on right there in second. The 20 car deep in the pack, but is picking his way forward after starting 11th.
Yeah, Jimmy Owens there on the back bumper of Chris Madden, the black 44. That red 44 is Earl Pearson Jr. One lap down and one slowing on the front straightaway. That is the 18X Michael Page out of Douglasville, Georgia. The recently crowned 2011 Dixie Track champion, picked up 5 wins here this year.
You know, you can keep up with all the action and the latest news at lucasdirt.com for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. While this caution is out, we'll follow up on a story that we had earlier today as we had an opportunity to talk to a number of the drivers about the biggest differences between what they do here on the dirt tracks and what the asphalt guys do up there in NASCAR.
The speed doesn't bother them in these, but I think most of them will tell you that the racing is in our sport is better.
It helps to have money and have good equipment for sure, and we got the best of what we need, but you still can't gain talent. You know what I mean? Asphalt, sometimes there's a lot of people involved to make you what you are.
Really, to me, there's no comparison. Dirt racing is 3 wide. If there ain't a groove, maybe you can make your own groove.
Typically see more side by side.
It's more fun to watch. It doesn't get boring at all times.
I think the more people watch and learn and see what's going on and see the competitiveness we have, our sport's going to keep growing and maybe pass that NASCAR stuff up.
So a couple of the opinions from the different drivers out here in the series as Steve Casebolt, again, are you kidding me? Up there battling for the lead and now is pulled in early.
Heartbreak continues for Steve Casebolt. When we come back, we'll talk to him. There's a look at your K&N top 5. Bloomquist out in front.
This holiday season, men all across the country are gonna have the same dream. And for some of them, it's actually gonna come true. The Speed Dream Ride is coming back. Get a sneak peek at speeddreamride.com and start dreaming Thanksgiving weekend.
With DirecTV, you can start watching in one room, pause, and continue watching in any other room. Experience it yourself. Get your whole home connected for free. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
Are you ready to save up to 95% on what you want most? Then try Quibids.com, an exciting new way to shop for products like iPads, MacBooks, HD TVs, cameras, appliances, and more. Imagine getting a new Apple iPad today for just $23.74. Or how about a Samsung 50-inch TV for as little as $84.95? Or a brand new Honda Civic for $1,800. On Quibids, deals like this happen every day. Quibids is a unique auction website. Each auction starts at 0. When someone places a bid, the price increases by as little as 1 cent. The result is insanely low prices. On Quibids, you can save up to 95% off retail.
I got a MacBook Pro laptop for $67.
Stop everything and visit Quibids.com right now. Enter the promo code below to receive 10 free bids. That's QUIBIDS.com. Go to Quibids.com now.
U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout. That's the race, and it's presented by Lucas Oil Products here at Woodstock, Georgia. And Steve Casebolt, once again, has heartbreak here as he was battling for the lead. Unfortunately now out of the race and with Kelly Snyder.
Well, guys, he's getting out of his car. Steve Casebolt, one of the best races that you've had in a really long time. What happened out there? We were kind of disappointed to see you pull into the pit.
I guess I broke an axle. Sucks. I don't know. I thought we had a chance at Scott. We were dogging him really hard. My luck's just been kind of terrible here all season, so second place paid $5,000. That would have helped a bunch. But we'll go on and try to win tomorrow, I guess.
Looking at 2012, is that what you're looking forward to now? The season's almost over.
Yeah, I just need it to be over. I need it to be over. It's been a long year and not very much fun for anybody, and this tops it all. Perfect.
Well, guys, he was running in second right behind Bloomquist. A broken axle ruined Steve Casebolt's night.
The ups and downs of racing, it is an emotional roller coaster ride to say the least.
So the Delaware double file restart once again. It's Bloomquist, Ray Cook, Mike Marlar, Shane Clanton, Chris Madden. That is your top 5.
They scream back to life. Marlar takes a look underneath Ray Cook. Now Clanton underneath Marlar. Clanton all the way up there beside him, leans on him hard.
Marlar tries to shut the door on Clanton and pays the price. Left rear is down now on Mike Marlar as Clanton cruises on by. And, you know, these guys use these restarts to try and make some moves because everybody is bunched up. And right there, didn't turn out good for Mike Marlar.
Flat left rear, and he pays the price. And speaking of paying the price, let's check in with Dave Argerbright because these things are not cheap to run.
Guys, definitely not inexpensive to run these Lucas Oil late models. To run this weekend down at Dixie, not counting any investment at all in the car itself, would take about $1,000 in diesel fuel for the transport, about $100 a day for your crew meals, pit passes and entry fees, about $140, $600 minimum in tires, $300 worth of racing fuel. That totals about $2,300 for a night of competition. Now keep in mind, to run one of these cars also takes for maintenance and upkeep about $15 a lap. Definitely not a poor man's sport.
Racing is very expensive no matter what form it is, and when you get to the professional level of any of it, it's going to cost you some coin. That's why these guys really rely on sponsors. We spoke with Ray Cook earlier about how hard it is to keep up with the Joneses.
I think it's tougher than it's ever been, and it's getting tougher. The more the NASCAR-related people get involved with this, you know, with Roush Yates, all his technology going to Bloomquist, and of course we got 2 Bobby Labonte teams here and 2 Clint Boyer teams, you know. It's definitely getting harder to compete in. The competition definitely what drives you, you know, to do this. You are racing against the best. You know, you can come here. We've won 6 races this year, and to a lot of people's standards, that would be good, you know. A lot of people would like to have 6 races, but none of them are Lucas Oil races, you know. And so that's the thing, is when you race here, it is against the best. And you know, when you do get a win, it's way more gratifying. Anymore, the way these cars are, I mean, you're up on the wheel 99% of the time. I mean, if you're not going to get it done because these track promoters like the tracks really fast. The fans like that. We have more horsepower than we know what to do with. So all of that goes together, and it's all the ingredients for a great show.
And as a competitor, that's exactly what you want. You want to come out here and race the absolute best you can find in the country. That's what these guys thrive on. And, of course, if you can pick up a win at this level, it is a very special moment. Scott Bloomquist is hoping he can pick up his 15th win of the season. But he's got a lot of tough competition in the way.
Almost tastes like one of Jack's cereals. Fiber One.
Oh, I forgot Jack's cereal. What's for breakfast?
Try the number 1.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Half a day's worth of fiber. Fiber One.
The General scores again and again with super low monthly payments for auto insurance. Just go to thegeneral.com on your tablet, computer, or smartphone, or call us for a fast, free quote. Right now, you can get insured and stay insured for as little as $39 a month. Find out how low your monthly payment can be and get instant proof of insurance.
All right! For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time!
When Valvoline asked me to try recycled oil with next-gen technology, I jumped on it, and jumped on it, and jumped on it. Never knew recycling could feel so good.
Valvoline Next Gen. It's a win for your engine and the environment.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
I'm Robbie Gordon, and we choose MagnaFloat on our race vehicles because it sounds cool, has great performance. Whether it's Daytona, Baja, or the Dakar Rally, we can count on MagnaFloat.
I'm Dennis Anderson with Gravedigger. I like running MagnaFlow on my trucks because it's got great sound, awesome performance, and it's tough as nails. I love being part of the MagnaFlow team because it's about quality and performance, and that's what I'm all about.
For the full MagnaFlow product line, check out magnaflow.com.
Welcome back to the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout presented by Lucas Oil Products. Scott Bloomquist leads them around, and right behind him is Ray Cook, of course. We're going to run them around here one more time at pace lap, but that gives us an opportunity to find out what these guys do in the off-season.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Get new cars ready to go and, you know, just relax, spend some time with Nathan and the family, and just, you know, get prepared for next year.
I've got a couple of new people that we're going to be building cars for next year. Gotten cars that guys that already have my cars want. We'll have to get all that done. I mean, it's going to be a busy winter. We'll definitely always take a vacation. We haven't decided where yet.
I'm pretty sure we'll go out deer hunt a little bit. I love doing that, you know, spend some time with my wife and kid and family. My wife Jessica and my little boy Madden, he's 3, and we're going to probably take him somewhere, you know, where I guess he loves going to the races, so it's probably just as fun as anything to him, just coming out here playing the dirt. So I just want to go spend some time with them, teach them some stuff, you know, play baseball with them.
I'd like to race every weekend, you know, all through the winter, but it just don't work out that way. And I would, you know, spend time with the kids, you know, and it won't be long, you know, speed weeks will be back around.
It's simple. What do you do in the off-season? You get all your stuff gathered back up into one basket and make another run at it in the next year. It takes every free moment.
Scott Bloomquist out in front, looking to pick up his 6th career Dixie Shootout. Some hard chargers right behind him as we are back underway here at Dixie Speedway.
Boy, he just mashes on the throttle there and drives away from those guys. Bloomquist has a car here tonight.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of bite out of the corners as we go back to that battle for second. Chris Madden in the 44M, followed by Ray Cook, and then you go back to Shane Clanton and Jimmy Owens going at it for 4th.
So Owens, who started on the inside of row number 6 in the 11th position, already working his way up into the top 5. Of course, the goal is to not lose any points to Bloomquist, and if at all possible, put a couple on him. It might be a tall order here tonight, but he is working his way to the front.
Chris Madden running that low line. You can see pretty much everyone taking the shortest way around the Dixie Speedway. Shane Clanton in the 25, followed by Jimmy Owens. We got a glimpse of Tyler Reddick. There he is in the 11 car. Reddick in 2 nights at Knoxville 2 weeks ago, passed 23 cars. Pretty impressive for the young driver.
Very talented kid, to say the least, and we, of course, documented that he picked up his first career win with the series earlier this season. 13 top 10s and 5 top 5s. The young man has quite a bright future in front of him. Here's a battle for 7th.
Brad Neat in the 41N and Aaron Ridley, of course. We talked about Ridley in the 81. Picked up 1 top 5 this year, a multi-time dirt late model champion.
And Brad Neat has had some pretty solid efforts here so far this season as well, including a win 3 top 5s, but we've talked about him and, of course, his teammate Earl Pearson Jr. developing that chassis, and they're hoping they can make a solid run at the championship in 2012. Stay with us. The final 5 laps are coming up.
Tonight,
We are underway.
3 series, 3 champions, 1 night.
Oh, my.
All dirt roads lead to Charlotte, the World of Outlaws. World Finals, tonight at 8 Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
Engines are tuned. So are Mobil 1 motor oils. Tuned for blistering performance. Tuned for everyday extremes. And with Mobil 1 Extended Performance, tuned to keep your engine running like new for up to 15,000 miles between oil changes. Mobil 1 Extended Performance, from the motor oil brand designed to keep your engine running like new.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has a solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you could safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest, safety sensors, stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even works through a power shortage.
I was really surprised at how little they cost.
Call 1-800-507-4147 for free information. That number again is 1-800-507-4147. 1-800-507-4147. Call now.
This is the U.S. Steel Dixie Shootout presented by Lucas Oil Products, and we are ready for the final laps here of the shootout. Ken Stout, Rob Klepper, and Shane Clanton. Yep, he's here too, and currently sitting in 4th.
Yeah, Clanton's really trying to get it done here, looking for his first career Dixie Shootout win here at the Dixie Speedway. Jimmy Owens also looking for his first win at this event. Behind him is Tyler Reddick, running in the 6th spot, looking for his first Dixie Shootout. But the man who has more than anyone is out front, just a handful of laps to go.
That's right. Scott Bloomquist not looking for his first or his second or his third or his fourth or his fifth. He's looking to pick up his 6th, and I've got to tell you, I see nobody hounding the back bumper of that car. So unless something really bad goes wrong here, I've got to think he will do exactly that.
And Bloomquist has been a rocket ship, especially off the restarts. A lot of bite coming out of the corner. Right there, once he get that thing straight, it just rockets down the front straightaway as the white flag comes out. Oh, and Chris Madden pulls into the infield, was running 2nd at the time. Man, tough break for the 44.
2nd, not the place to be here tonight. 2 heartbreaks for 2 different competitors, but this guy pulls off his 6th Dixie Shootout win, his 15th win on the season. Unbelievable stats here for him. Of course, 41st career win. More importantly, he puts a few more points between himself and that 20 car.
Yeah, Scott Bloomquist will gain 50 points on Jimmy Owens, and he can almost taste that 3rd consecutive title.
Yeah, it is. It's looking pretty good for the 2-time champ. And there's Tommy Hicks, of course, longtime crew chief for him. Those guys have worked together for many, many years. They just kind of know how each other think. Scott Bloomquist, 15th win on the season.
Yeah, winning more events than anyone this year. It's his 41st career series win, and he has won a race every single year since this series started. But the races he's won this year have been huge.
Dave is with our winner.
Well, the confetti in the air kind of symbolizes what kind of a year it's been for you, Scott. First of all, 15 series win this year, but 6 Dixie Shootout wins. What is it about this place through the years that's been so good to you?
Been coming here for a long time, but it's a little bit of a trick to driving this place and setting your car up, And we've been coming here a long time and learned a few things that I think have carried over. So, car was good. We had a problem with the carburetor. The track's real choppy in the center through the corners, and when I hit that ripple, it was causing it to stumble. I was really concerned about it just stumbling bad enough that the car wouldn't keep turning, but it hung in there. We just have to work on that later.
Does this help you just take that step toward finishing this thing off and clinching this title? I know we're so close.
Well, you got to finish these races, and tomorrow's another one, and we feel like we got our stuff prepared right. We got everything good. You know, we just need to have a good run tomorrow night. Go into that last one with a good little lead where we can really get it on.
It was definitely the zero show tonight here at Dixie. Scott Bloomquist, a happy winner in victory lane.
Well, there's been a lot of great racing here tonight. We kicked things off with some sparks right off the wall with Don O'Neill, but we're not finished yet, so don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk to some more drivers. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink, the world's most powerful energy drink. General Tire, unleash the fury. And by MagnaFlow Exhaust, the first thing you hear, the last thing you see.
Okay, you know you're gonna need new tires. It's inevitable, right? With Tire Rack's online research tools, you'll know you're getting exactly the right tires for you, your car, and the way you drive it, all at a great price. Don't just change your tires, change the way you buy tires. Get ready for serious performance this winter. Visit TireRack.com to shop Continental's complete selection of extreme winter contact studless ice and snow tires. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
What are you guys doing?
Waiting for Black Friday.
Rent-A-Center's pre-Black Friday sales going on now.
Dude.
Hurry into Rent-A-Center and get a Sony 46-inch HD TV or Acer laptop for just $24.99 a week.
Hey, honey.
Mom, we're dying.
No, you're not. You're just hungry. Make some Totino's pizza rolls.
We don't have any.
Front. Left. Totino's.
Well done, Mom. Less drama, more fun. Totino's Pizza Rolls.
There's a saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Well, forgive us if we think that's a load of crap. Because here, every wheel gets the same detailed attention, just like every bolt, wire, and inch of paint. So, what greases our wheel? ATVs that are built right here. Arctic Cat, share our passion. See your dealer for great deals on ATVs and side-by-sides during the Gone Wheelin' sales event.
Welcome back to Woodstock, Georgia, as Scott Bloomquist picks up yet another one, his 15th on the season and 41st career. Pretty sweet-looking trophy to go along with it. Here's a look at your Geico unofficial results.
Ray Cook, a good second-place finish, his third podium finish of the year. You see Shane Clanton and Jimmy Owens there in the fourth spot as the seesaw battle continues tomorrow night at Rome.
Oh, yeah, this will go down to the wire. Let's get down and talk to Ray Cook. He's in the winner's circle.
Well, Ray Cook, congratulations first off. I know it's been a really hard season for you, but you made the pass in those last few laps. You got to second place. Congratulations on your podium finish.
Well, thank you very much. We ran there for a while, and then Madden broke there at the end, was running third, and hate that for him, but we'll take them any way we can get them, and just appreciate all of our sponsors sticking with us. We have had a tough year, and Rockstar, Makita, and Masters Built Chassis, Integra, just a lot of people that supports us all year long, and we need them when we're down worse than we do when we're up, so we appreciate that.
Coming into 2012, a podium finish here at the end is going to be very, very beneficial for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Just thank the Lord for a good night.
Shane Clanton, you're a familiar guy here in Victory Lane. This second straight year you've got a podium finish. What's the key to going so good here?
Well, this is where I grew up, and we made a lot of laps here. Our car is pretty good. You got to thank Ronnie Dobbins and Malcolm Motors. We worked on some stuff this week, and the motor program's picked up a little bit. We probably had a fourth-place car there, but me and Mike got together, and it cut his left rear tire down, but I thought I was far enough up where he could see me there with 5 to go or whatever, but we had a pretty good car to run third.
Well, Shane Clanton, always tough when he shows up. Here's a look at your E3 Spark Plugs point standings after this event.
No change in the top 5 as Scott Bloomquist pads that points lead by 50. Now 65 between him and Jimmy Owens. Brad Neat takes over sole possession of 6th, and Ray Cook now goes into 9th.
And Kelly's with Jimmy Owens.
Well, Jimmy, you had a tough run working your way up from the 6th row up to that 4th place spot. Scott gained some more points on you with 2 races left. What is it going to take for you to try to take over that championship?
Well, I don't know. Just we're going to have to change roles there a little bit. I'm going to have to win, let him run 5th or 4th or something like that. But, you know, it was a good run tonight. We got the Reese Monument car up front, and, you know, maybe we can do a little better tomorrow.
All right, time now for our Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series highlights. We'll give you a race recap, and right off the bat, the guy that won Knoxville struggled early, just 2 laps in.
You can see Steve Casebolt in the C9 very fast early here at the Dixie Speedway. Takes over that 2nd spot from Ray Cook, but then breaks. So the C9 was out. A great battle up front, though, between Mike Marlar and Shane Clanton as they would go side by side. But then Marlar cuts down the left rear.
The battle will continue on. Now Jimmy Owens making a charge for the front as he pulls up behind the 25 car of Shane Clanton. The white flag comes out, and Chris Madden, who is sitting P2, breaks.
As the checker flag came out, it was Scott Bloomquist picking up his 15th win of 2011. He continues on leading this chase for the championship.
We hope you enjoyed all the action here. Make sure you keep up with everything that's happening with the series at lucasdirt.com. Of course, all the latest news and the schedule and current point standings as well. This one will go down to the wire. This telecast has been produced by Lucas Oil Studios. For Dave Argerbright, Kelly Snyder, and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. Thanks for watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.